Ladies and gentlemen, if you thought we were going to have an easy time against the automatons in this defense/offense that we're doing right now, think again. We have some new enemies to come up against. Gunships and huge AT-AT-like walkers have been spotted on the battlefield, and I have encountered said gunships. Whilst playing earlier today just to get some footage for this video, I encountered the gunships, and my goodness, they're a little scary. At first when I spotted this, I thought it was just a dropship, but looking closer at it, it is way smaller and actually way deadlier. When you see a huge red beam come at you from the sky and you look up and you see something actually shooting at you in the sky on the automatons, you should be worried, and I was. I didn't know how to take this thing down. I didn't know any of its weak spots. I started firing expendable anti-tank launcher shots at it. That didn't work either because I missed or because, you know, just wasn't effective. I think I missed, but like, well, you know, I'm not that bad. Liar! But of course the automatons now have flying gunships that shoot at you because the bugs have, you know, their flying variants, so the automatons it was inevitable that they would get their own flying variant, and I am scared. If the Shriekers weren't enough on the Terminids, now we've got these gunships to deal with the automatons. But like I said with the Shriekers, this is just another dynamic in the battle that we have to worry about now. It's adding more depth. I'm loving it. It's so much fun. And of course it was snuck into the recent patch that was absolutely huge, but failed to mention these two new enemies. The patch added blizzards, sandstorms, huge amounts of balancing for weapons and stratagems and various bug fixes and everything, but it did not mention the AT-AT Walker and the gunship. The AT-AT Walker I have not encountered yet. However, I have seen footage of this thing. Like, I'm scared, but it is wicked cool. This massive walker is called a factory strider. It's a huge four-legged bot with a cannon on its back and seemingly no weak spot from what I can tell. I don't see any visible vents or anything like that on this thing, so it's going to be very tough to take down. If you thought the Hulks were bad, wait until you see this thing. Now, the reason these walkers are actually called factory striders is because they are actually factories. They will drop troops down on you as they walk. So not only do they have massive amounts of firepower, but they have massive amounts of reinforcement possibility when it comes to dropping more enemies on you. As if the fact that it's basically an AT-AT, heavily armored, huge gun, yeah, whatever, but just make it drop troops as well. I guess that is kind of like an AT-AT. It was also a troop transport. But there's no need for the automatons to go this far with the factory strider. It's just ridiculous. There's so much firepower, and it's just, the possibilities of this thing is actually super scary. Which probably means the leaks of the other vehicles that we were seeing Helldivers use a couple weeks back, I reckon they might actually be real, and we'll get them at some point to counter these new automaton threats. I think the APC vehicle that we saw would be a good maybe counter to the factory strider. I don't know its full capabilities, but that's just a guess. Is if the automatons are getting these new vehicles, perhaps we'll get some new vehicles at some point soon as well. And just as things were going so well for us, I knew as soon as we took the creek, something was up the automaton sleeve. No way, after so long of fighting on the creek, of defending it with our lives, that the automatons would just back down so easily. Of course they've got new weaponry. We just took the creek. Why wouldn't they bring new weapons to their arsenal and new enemy types? Why wouldn't they? We've also been going hard on the offense against the automatons. We've taken multiple sectors now, and they're down to one sector. It's very much like the start of the game when we entered and there was only that one sector. That's why everyone was fighting on the creek, because it was usually everyone's first encounter with the automatons was on Malevolent Creek. But now we hold the creek, we hold multiple planets in this sector, and we're having to defend them for a major order that ends in about a day. I think we might be able to do this, but the new weaponry and the new enemy types have me a little worried now. I thought, oh yeah, piece of cake, we got this. Maybe not, we'll see. And honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, it makes sense why we got new weaponry like the heavy machine gun and the quasar cannon. Can't imagine that this is quite effective against the gunships and the factory striders. Maybe that's why they gave them to us, who knows? I don't know what's going on with Helldivers anymore. It's so much to keep up with. I took about a week off and missed like 10 different events. It's just crazy. And obviously I mentioned the patch earlier. The patch also came with a level cap increase. The level has been increased from 50 to 150, and we've obviously got new titles to go along with that. My favorite that I've seen so far, I think he was a level 82, and he was called Admirable Admiral. And I dare you to say that 10 times fast, because that's quite hard to say. But yeah, level cap increase. When I logged into the game, I actually saw that it was level 62, so obviously they're carrying over XP that we had since we hit level cap, which is nice. It was a pleasant surprise when I logged into the game and saw I was already level 62 and had a new title to go along with it, as well as a new icon, which looks looks wicked cool. But obviously the main thing that people are talking about are the gunships and the factory striders, but also there's another potential leak. People are spotting these cruisers up in atmosphere. Across the automaton front, these look like cloaked ships possibly. Could be the automatons, could be a whole new faction altogether. I've been saying the Illuminate are coming, and this could be a very good indication of that actually coming to fruition. We'll just have to wait and see, but there's a lot going on with Helldivers 2 right now, so expect the content to be coming out frequently as new stuff comes into the game and we have new stuff to talk about. But that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, comment down below what you think of these new Automaton enemies and the recent patch. Subscribe for more Helldivers 2 content. Like I said, there's going to be a lot more coming now that there's been a lot more in the game added. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!